recording this call. If you don't want to be recorded, you can drop. We will send the recording out later this afternoon. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Jeff Sater. He'll be running the demo. Actually, I don't know if ahead of Jeff, Tyler, do you want to introduce yourself since you're the genius behind Lightning Estimates?
Sure. Yeah, I'll just give a quick background. Hi, I'm Tyler Sater. I'm the person who created Lightning Estimates. I created it because many years ago now, back in 2017, 2018, I was working as a loan officer assistant, and that meant I was running a lot of estimates for potential clients. I'm in Fairfax, Virginia, and in our market in Northern Virginia, we have a lot of mortgage insurance. And this was right about the time that all the mortgage insurance companies were moving to risk-based pricing. So it wasn't just a simple LTV and credit score, figure it out. Anytime any parameters changed on the property, I'd had to go out and run MI again at all 6 companies, just because it was a competitive market and needed to make sure we were showing, the most accurate and best estimate we could. That just meant, running one estimate took me at least 10 or 15 minutes to get all the data, put it into Encompass, export it out. And with new home buyers or really anyone shopping where they don't know where they're looking, they want to see multiple options for down payment, multiple different purchase price points because they didn't know, how much they were going to spend. So I was spending many hours a week running estimates, and I realized there had to be a better way. I looked around for a tool that would help speed things up for me to pull in data automatically, put it together, output an estimate, and couldn't find anything. So I got to work building Lightning Estimates, starting out just as a tool to pull mortgage insurance rates for me. And from there, expanded out to pulling in title fees, putting in all the lender fees, and bringing it down. So rather than spending 10 to 15 minutes per individual scenario on a comparison, now you can do a comparison with 4 loans in 2 or 3 minutes. And I'll pass it over to Jeff now.
Yeah, hi. I'm Jeff Sater with Lightning Estimates. I'm Tyler's dad. This is a family-owned company. Allison happens to be my sister. She's in Guernsey, Wyoming. I'm in Leesburg, Virginia. What I'm going to do today, let me back up a little bit. I've been a loan officer for 32 years. I'm not really actively originating anymore, but I've got experience in the industry, and I know what each and every one of you has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I've turned my book of business over to my LOA where I am now. So I'm still involved, but not to the degree I used to be. This tool has saved me so much time over the last 6 years. We brought it to market about 1 year and 4 months ago, and it's been very successful for us and for the loan officers that use it. It's a good way to save time and to fight that interest rate battle as well. So I'm going to do a quick demo today. I'm going to let you know that the tool does do purchase estimates as well as refinance estimates. So let me share my screen with you. Give me just a moment. Okay, and you should be seeing the Lightning Estimates. This is the starting page for Lightning Estimates. I'm just going to click over to this next tab. This is the final output, and I'm going to show you how I got to this point. But this is just an example. I showed 4 different price points. I had a customer call me and said, if a customer says, I'm thinking of buying a place between 400 and 430, I did 4 different breakdowns for him so he could see the difference in the monthly payment and in the cash to close. So you can see those highlighted there. I know they're small print, but at least you get a general idea. You scroll down and each individual estimate is there. So here's your 400,000 with your monthly payment, with your cash to close, lender fees on the left-hand side, escrow items, title fees, government fees on the right-hand side of the estimate. So it's a nice clean presentation to the borrower. Here's your 410, your 420, and your 430. And you'll notice I have a QR code on here. I had one loan officer that links it to his reviews website. Most loan officers link it to their application website. But let me go back into Lightning Estimates to show you how easy this is to work. You'll notice there's 5 tabs across the top here. We'll start on the details page. And as I complete each page, these little circles that look like exclamation points that are grayed out will turn into green check marks. So for this example, I'm not going to use a loan template. I have a template set up. If you were doing a lot of builder business, for instance, I did a sample one of Leesburg townhomes. It set up with certain fees, like this one's set up with the HOA already in there and the HOA capital contribution. But we're not going to do that today. We're just going to do a comparison of 4 different price points. I'll show you how I got there. So let me take 500,000 as a purchase price. And I'm going to put the property is not in a planned unit development. If I click the yes, it does bring up this HOA monthly screen. Not every area in the country has HOAs like it is in Northern Virginia. But I am going to use my zip code. That's Leesburg, Virginia. So title fees that come in are dependent on the zip code that you enter. So when you enter the zip code, it brings up the state, the county, the city. This is not new construction. If it were a builder loan and you wanted to put all of the seller fees onto the buyer side, you could click new construction and it would do that. We're just doing a regular resale right here. So this buyer wanted to see somewhere between 500 and let's say 575. So I'm going to copy this to create a second property at 525. So I can show the different loan amounts. I'm going to copy this again. This is now property 3. I'll make this 550 and copy it one last time. And that copy feature is unbelievable in saving you time. We didn't always have that, but a lot of the things that are incorporated into this software now are as a result of users that have said, can we do this? Can we do this? And we've been adding features. So I've got 4 properties. Now I want to set up a loan for each of the properties. This is a purchase. Sale with mortgage is defaulted. You have other options, but you're just going to use what's defaulted here. If you wanted to put additional debt to pay off, like paying off a car or paying off a credit card, you could throw that in here so that you could show the final cash to close. Loan name for the first output, I'll just call it 500K so it matches the property. We're going to do a conventional loan, fixed, fully amortized. You do have interest only options. 30-year fix, you could change the amortization whatever number of years you want. Loan program is defaulted to none, meaning that's your standard Fannie Freddie conventional conforming or jumbo loan. You do have home ready, home possible, reduced MI, and no MI options as well. And HFA reduced MI are the state bond programs. We also have you have the option to do FHA, VA, USDA. I'm going to do all 4 conventional on this particular one. I'll do them at 90% because I want to show you the mortgage insurance feature. So we're directly integrated with all 6 MI companies. And based on your master policy number, it will pull your MI rates. You do need to put in a DTI. So I'm just going to assume 25 and 35. It defaults to DU approve eligible. You have a drop down, and this is because of the mortgage insurance companies say they want you to use whatever you have in here, but typically DU approve eligible is going to satisfy about 99% of what you're looking at. Number of borrowers, 1 to 5, we'll leave it 1. Throwing a 750 score, 15 grand in income monthly. And the borrower declarations are defaulted that they've owned a home in the last 3 years. If they had not, I could click no, because that does affect the MI. So I'm saving that. So everything is done on this page. You'll see a green check mark up here, and every box has this green check mark to the left. So I click start estimate, so we go to the next page. This is, oh, excuse me, I did miss one thing. I didn't assign this loan. I want to copy this loan and assign it to property 2. So it's a good default. They don't catch you when you do that. I'm going to make that one 525, copy that loan, assign it to property 3. I apologize for my error there. Got going a little fast. And copy that and assign this one to property 4, because you want to use all 4 properties. And if you don't, you won't be able to proceed any further once you get deep into the software. Okay, so now I'll click the start estimate. We now have a green check mark up here, and here are the 4 options. The only thing you need to actually look up is what is the interest rate going to be. So you pull that from your pricing engine. Let's just say it's 6% just for ease of entry here. I want to show you some options on this. You have the option to do buy downs. There are different buy downs already programmed in here based on your company. You can charge points. If you want to put discount points, you can issue a credit if you want to issue a credit. I'm going to just leave it none for now for all 4. But you have that option to make that change. You also have the option to change the days of interest, which is defaulted to 15. Say they're closing 2 days before the end of the month, you can put in 2 days of interest. Okay, this asks the taxes and insurance are the same for all properties. These are different price points. So I'm going to say, I'll say yes because they're pretty close. But what I'm going to do is I'll put in 100 for hazard insurance, but I'm going to put in a 1%, like a local tax rate. So that's going to apply to those properties. If you wanted to make it different, you could just say no, and you're just going to change each of these. Okay, I'm going to do yes just for simplicity's sake and to speed up the demo. So right now I have the option to do manual entry on MI. If I were brokering a loan, you could plug that in, but based on master policy numbers, these were popping up while I was entering all of that information above. So you could enter borrower monthly, or you do borrower single. If you do borrower single, you have the option to finance it or not finance it. I'm going to just do borrower monthly, and we'll go ahead and plug those in. And my integration with, let me go out of, with MGIC, for some reason didn't come through on the last three. But in any case, there you go. You see all of those MIs. You go to the next page. We now have green check marks on the first two tabs. It defaults to everything you need here. You can change these on the drop downs, but my suggestion is go with the default because that's going to give you the most accurate numbers for title fees. This is through a direct integration with First American Title in all 50 states. And you'll see it's pulling title fees. It's talking to First American Title's computer. It pulls in a title services fee. So in Virginia, First American Title does not do direct settlements. So we put in a title services fee of $1,000 to include all the ancillary title fees that a title company would charge, like deliveries, title search, other items, their processing, whatever fees they might have. We just encompass it under this $1,000 fee. The title insurance came from First American Title. Those are market rates, and the CPL came from First American Title. They also pulled the recording fee, and in Virginia, we have a county tax of 83 cents per thousand of loan amount and sales price and $2.50 per thousand of loan amount and sales price. So it pulled those fees in. So I've got fees on all four of these loans in here. At this point, if I wanted to add a credit, or let's say we wanted to add a realtor admin fee, that's common in our market, I can say it applies to all loans, put it under other. I'll call it realtor admin fee, and we'll make it $685. That's probably close to what it is in this market. It's not an APR fee, and we'll save it. You'll notice at the bottom it says fee applies to all loans. You can do the same thing. You can edit all these fees here with the green check mark if you wanted to change it. Or if you wanted to delete it, you can click red X and delete it. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just showing you that that option's there. We go to the next page, and I got to save this. So I'm going to call it LE demo for loans side by side. That's so when I look it up in my saved loans, that's exactly what I'm going to see. This is what the customer sees, whatever you name the loan on the first page. So you can put the customer's name in there, you can put the property address in there, you can put whatever information you want to, and it will print in these tabs. I'm going to save these estimates. And these are just options that I already have checked. That you have the option to highlight, you have the option to show different things. I'm only highlighting the monthly payment and the cash to close. So once I click create comparison PDF, generally comes up in a few seconds, taking a little longer today. Let me refresh that. I've saved that estimate. I'm going to go out of it, come back into it, and it may have been because I was moving around a lot within that frame. Tyler, do you see the issue there?
I'm taking a look to see.
Not the best thing for our demo. I apologize for that. There it goes. There's the PDF. It usually doesn't take that long. So there you'll see the four options, 500, 525, 550, 575, shows the different payments, just like I started on the initial when I showed you the ones for 400. And it breaks down each estimate again with the monthly payment and the details. Another thing to note is you can either download this just click download here. And in that case, it goes into a folder, but I'm gonna just not download that. And then you can send the PDF to the customer. You can also highlight what's in the toolbar up here. That is the address in the cloud. If you cut and paste that into an email, you can send it to a customer. It'll take them right to this estimate in the cloud. You can also, once you have cut and pasted that in an email, you can edit the hyperlink and change it and say like John Doe's purchase estimate. Name it whatever you want, because a lot of people don't want to click on these long links because they're not sure where they're going to go. So that's just a quick run through of the purchases. And then I did want to show you as well, we can show you, and you can see there's the one I just did. LE demo 4 loans side by side. Let me show you a refi estimate, and I believe this one has, this one I did, no, I didn't do it. Let me pull the other one. I want to show you one with a refi estimate where it shows you, here we go. Every time you create a PDF, the PDF is saved. So this one was January 5th. I can pull that PDF. And what I did is this will show a refinance break even. I did 3 options on this demo. I showed a 5.5%, and obviously that's VA, that's low. You wouldn't be giving a point credit, but I showed a point credit right here at the bottom. Okay, so the payback, there's no monthly, the monthly savings could be, or the months to break even, we use the monthly savings, aren't going to show because it's an instant savings. They're automatically going down in payment. This one shows 0 points, and you can see if you take the closing cost, 5102.50 divided by the monthly savings, it takes 23 months to break even. And this one shows a 1 point charge. You'll see the closing costs are a lot higher here, and it takes 48 months to break even. It shows you the monthly savings. So you have the option to show a customer different options on refinances, which I think a lot of you know we're at or entering a refinance market right now. And people want to look at options. If you show them just one option, more than likely they're going to go check with somebody else to see what other options are out there. If you show them 3 or 4 options side by side, they're less likely to pick up the phone and call somebody else. So that's a lot of it in a nutshell. Everything on this hamburger menu on the right, let me shrink that down. This is right here where I clicked. This is where you start an estimate, save estimates, but you also have a training tab. And if you click on the training tab, there's a lot more things that software can do, but you click on the training tab, it takes you right to our website, to the training section, and there's videos on all these different things, and we're constantly adding new videos. Most of these videos on the quick tips are very short, 1 to 2 minutes. These videos, you can see the runtime. I mean, creating your first estimate, that was done over a year ago. I probably need to update that one because we've added a lot of new features, but it will help you answer any questions you might have. And at this point, I want to just turn it back to you guys and see what kind of questions you do have and what I can answer for you. Allison, are we seeing anything in the chat?
Tyler has answered the questions in the chat, but if anyone has a specific question, feel free to come off mute and just speak up.
Please.
Yeah. Can we export a file from Encompass to Lightning?
So as of right now, no, we don't have any integration with Encompass. That's something we've got on the roadmap to explore for the future, but it's a ways off from happening. Also with Optimal Blue, they had that on our roadmap to integrate with them, but right now we are not and don't have a timeline on when we will have an integration.
Hey, Tyler, Chris Miller here with Atlantic Coast. I saw you had answered my most recent question. Do you think would it be challenging to add that feature? I just find myself a lot of times, comparing with customers, what a buy down looks like and, comparing it with a par rate and what the break even looks like.
No, that's definitely something we can explore. I think you're the first person that's asked about that. We've had something similar asked about like total interest paid over the life of a loan. I'm gonna note that, and I'll reach out to you to talk a little more about seeing, what something like that might look like, and what
Awesome.
your use case that you'd have in mind was.
Awesome. Thanks.
And Chris, just so I understand that, so comparing just doing a buy down to just a straight loan with no buy down on a refinance?
Well, actually, even on a purchase,
Okay.
I find a lot of the times, the customer just looks at the rate, and I want to explain to them, hey, we can also offer that low rate that you saw online, but you have to understand, there's fees tied to that. And this is why I wouldn't suggest it, because it'll take you, 6 years to recoup the cost from the monthly savings.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that's a great way to approach it, Chris.
Cool.
Okay, so with Lightning Estimates, we do offer a 14-day free trial. And if you need a little longer, let us know. I know that loan officers get busy, and that also segues back to a feature Tyler added a little while back. If you get a phone call and you're in our software, this does auto save every 30 seconds. Is that correct, Tyler?
Yes.
Yeah, so it auto saves your work, so you're not going to lose anything. But if you do a 14-day trial, there's no credit card required. We're not going to hold you hostage to your credit card. We want it to be win-win. We want it to work for you, or it doesn't work for us. So it's a good thing to try. You can go directly to Lightning Estimates. And if Allison, can you put that in the chat there?
Already did.
Okay, I'm not looking at. I don't see the chat. So
Fine.
I don't want to stop sharing in case anybody has any specific questions about the software itself. But if you go there, you can do a 14-day trial. After that, the monthly rate is $39.99 a month. There's no long-term obligations. There's no setup fees. If you use it for a month and you go, you know what, this isn't for me, that's fine. You're not going to be penalized for it. We're here to help you, and we want this to be a good tool to have in your tool belt. Are there any other questions that we're seeing, or does anybody want to come off mute and ask any questions?
Here's a question. How about doing an FDHA streamline refi with appraisal or without appraisal? Oh, FHA streamline.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a new one on me.
Yeah, it's a new one for me too, but I'm not a loan officer, so I was going with it.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not going to pull the FHA mortgage insurance premium refund if there is any. And I think everybody knows that I've been in the business 32 years. It used to be like the first 10 years you could get money back. Now I believe it's down to 5 years, and it diminishes. It might even be shorter than that on an FHA streamline. I haven't done one in a while, but let's say you have a $400,000 value, single family. Let's go Virginia again. We'll make this a refinance. And let's say the payoff is $375. And I'm pulling numbers out of the air. We're going to go FHA. It is fixed, fully amortized, streamlined. Okay. And if I'm missing anything, Tyler, let me know, because I haven't done an FHA streamline on here. We'll throw the rate in as 5.5, not knowing where it is right now. And on refinances, typically what I do is I take the customer's mortgage statement, take the balance off there, and I use that balance without ordering a payoff, because I just put 30 days interest on the new loan to cover what's going to be paid off on the payoff on the old loan, plus the interest to the start of the next month on the new loan. So it's not exact, but it does get you where you need to be. We can assume maybe they're paying, let's say $75 a month, and then and their real estate taxes are $4,000. So you'll see, not 40, 4,000. So you see it defaults into the monthly. We go to the next page. You'll see it's defaulted here to a refinance now. Click submit title products. At this point, we could do and we'll call this FHA streamline. We could do a refinance break even. So that's where I haven't clicked no, but if you click yes, scroll down, it brings up this box. And I don't know what the prior loan P&I payment is. I'm just gonna guess to see. Okay, if it were 2,500, you're saving $94 a month. It's gonna take 60 months to earn that back. I mean, you're gonna pull that off of their mortgage statement. So I'll save that estimate, export the PDF. There we go. I like it when it works quickly, and that's the way it typically works. So there's your streamline with your monthly payment, monthly savings, number of months it takes to earn that back, and the cash. In this case, the borrower, it's showing the borrower getting cash because I was playing around with the loan amounts, but let's say I wanted to go back in and make that $0 cash to the borrower. Easy fix. I go back into the first page, and I believe that said, yeah, 2,400. So let's reduce the loan amount 2,500, make it 372,500. Okay, everything's correct here, but we have to resubmit the title products because we changed the loan amount. And you'll see there's no check mark here. So it pulls the new title fees in. And if you've got a deal with a title company locally that'll do things cheaper, this is where you can adjust these fees. Go here, save the estimate, export the PDF. And now it's still saying 60 months. Oh, I reduced the loan amount. I reduced the payoff amount. My mistake. I got a little fast there. I apologize. Payoff was 375. Let me make this 2,500 less. So make that 383,500. My apologies on that. I'm out of sorts today. Okay, so now it's pulling in the title fees because we changed the loan amount. I was wondering why it wasn't before. There's your new title fees. Go to the next page, save the estimate. And here you go. Now it says 51 months. They're getting back $75 at closing. So you can see how easy it is to adjust the numbers. So you can play with this. You know, if you've got someone that says, you know what, as with regards to a purchase, they say, I want to be at $2,750 on my payment. Your estimate's coming in at 2,900. You can use this to play with it in the background while you're on the phone with them and give them the numbers. I typically use it as a pre-application tool while I'm on the phone. I would talk to the borrower, run this in the background. I say, based on the information you're telling me, because people will pull their credit score off their credit cards. You know, they know what they owe, they know what they're making. I can give them an idea of what they can afford. And then at that point, I'm finding at that point, everybody wants to do a loan application because they go, okay, that sounds good. What do I do next? And that's where you get an application and get them moving in process to get them pre-approved. So hopefully that answers the FHA Streamline question. Is there anything else in the box we can cover or anything else anybody wants to see? Because, I'm also happy to meet one-on-one with anybody. I know that can get a little daunting for me at times, but Allison, throw my phone number in there, my cell phone, or you have it, right?
I have to look it up, to be honest with you, but yeah, I'll put it in there.
Okay.
I'll put it in since I know it.
So you're going to put my cell phone number in there. After being a loan officer for 32 years, I answer the phone. I return calls every day. I date stamp my voicemail, which means you will get a call or a text back same day. So I'll communicate with you because I'm all about speed to respond and I'm all about communication. But I'm hopping on with two different people later this afternoon. Typically, they're like 10-minute calls because they go, I don't understand why I can't do this. They share their screen. I walk them through it, get it fixed. But you can also get those answers at the training tab. But if you want some one-on-one time, give me a call. I'm happy to set it up. I'm here to help you guys be successful and help your customers.
And I'll just jump in here too to talk about one of our next big upcoming feature. We're always working to improve the tool. Recently adding in interest-only loans as an option that if your company allows for it. Right now, the feature that we're working on adding is adding an additional view for estimates. So it's not only just able to output a PDF you can send, but I actually have a web view that you'll be able to just send a link out to have someone take a look at where they'll load up a website, make it a little bit more interactive, be able to provide more explanation. So we'll have a lot of pre-filled in explanations for what fees are, like what's an appraisal fee, where does it come from, who charges it, and to provide descriptions for just the different fee buckets as well. That way, it's a lot of the boilerplate information you have to give borrowers or people might be thinking about when they're looking at an estimate, but they have to go out and research themselves, maybe ask you, maybe not even ask you and just think about it, but help ease some confusion for borrowers and give you the option to customize those as well. But we'll be having more information coming out about that in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and if you do trial and you do get a subscription and you've got thoughts or ideas for us, please send them to us. Just click support@lightningestimates.com at the website and send us what you're thinking, or give us a call, reach out to us. We're here to make you more successful, as I said before.
All right, well, that puts us 1 minute over time, so I think we'll wrap it up. There's no more questions in the chat. There is a link to Jeff's Calendly if you want to set up a one-on-one, or feel free to email any of us. You can do so at support@lightningestimates.com. And thank you for attending today. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. We know your time is valuable.